I am very excited because one of my upcoming videos is going to include a tier list for all of the epics from the Skinwalker faction, and unlike any other tier list I have seen on YouTube, I am actually asking the viewers' opinion. I'm asking you guys to help rank the champions. So as you can see here on screen, I'm doing a series of polls on my YouTube channel, basically just asking you guys which tier you'd put certain champions in. If you're voting for the C/F tier, that basically means I get to choose between those two tiers when I'm making the tier list. So stay tuned for that community-made tier list coming out sometime in the coming week here once I have all the polls completed. Today, though, we are actually going to be rebuilding my son Wukong and hopefully giving some tips and stuff like that to help you guys out if you're attempting to build him as well. Right now, he does have some pretty good stats, so he's sitting at about 5,600 attack, 273 on the speed, and 293% on the crit damage. There are some issues with this build, though, so he doesn't really have a whole lot of defense ignoring capabilities, so obviously he isn't in like a cruel or a savage or any sort of a set like that. So his A2 is only ignoring about 55 to 75% of defense, depending on if I get a Helm Smasher proc or not. Whereas obviously if I was in a damage dealing set, I'd actually be doing essentially true damage on this pretty much all of the time. So we're going to try and get that done as well. And then, of course, we might adjust his speed a little bit as well. I'm probably okay bringing him down a little bit in terms of speed as long as we're able to get a little bit more damage out of him. So I went ahead and actually ran him into Dragon 19, I believe it was. I'll go ahead and show a video here on screen now of the damage that he was able to accomplish in that run. And as you can see, he is definitely doing pretty good damage, but my goal is to be able to essentially one-shot that entire wave after today's video. So let's hop right into it. We, of course, are going to be making use of the Hell Hades Artifact Optimizer. So we're going to come in here. We're essentially going to do some stuff here. So we're going to set the damage mode to be optimized for his A2. In terms of slots, we're going to go ahead and, let's see, we can include the amulet, I think. I'm just going to check and see if I have any good reaction gear. So especially, you know, like a crit damage amulet. That would be quite nice right there. It is on Nishak, of course. Let's go ahead and ascend this and see if we get something good. We get attack. That is pretty decent. So we're actually going to go ahead and put this on just because I would like to have an additional piece of reaction just so that he has a better chance of surviving in the arena, of course. Resistance with a bit of attack, a little bit of attack here. I think that'll be pretty much it. We'll just go ahead and equip that. So now, if we come over here, we're okay including the banner, but not the ring or the amulet, just since I have those set up specifically to be reaction. We are okay with the sets. I'm okay with it doing basically whatever it wants. Battle, we're not really going to touch. And stats, we're going to change this a little bit. So I'm going to try, first of all, he's currently at 270, so we're going to see if we can put him there and just see what kind of a difference we can get. I'm not really worried about hitting like accuracy minimums or anything like that, just because I have a feeling that he's going to do pretty well regardless of what we do, because I have a pretty much maxed out Great Hall and I have a Blessing on him and everything like that. So this would be essentially the build that we can get to right here. So we're gaining 16% on the A2. Let's go ahead and hit back here. What else we got? 15%, 9%. This is basically just the damage percentage gain. And if you want to get a little bit more specific, so like if we went into stats and if we took him down to 240 speed like he was previously, where is this here? Optimized. It's a bit weird since it's like not fully screened, but there we go. We'll go ahead and clear this. We'll optimize again with a 240 speed requirement. And as you can see, we'd go from a 16% gain all the way up to like almost a 30%, 32% gain, which is pretty crazy. So we'd be getting him into a damage dealing set, and we'd also be having him, you know, just built out a little bit better. But for stats, we're going to go ahead and hit 270 here. I do want my Wukong to be quite fast, because if he's reviving himself, I want him to still have a decent amount of speed so that he can go soon after being revived, right? And basically just nuke people down. This one will actually give us a little bit less attack. Still enough accuracy there, I would say, to really strip like any sort of, you know, high accuracy teams or anything like that. So for example, if I'm going against an Armands, he's probably not going to be resisting it. If I'm going against like a Candrafon or any other sort of a nuker, they're probably not going to be resisting that strip, right? So I might still be able to steal Stone Skin or something like that. The current accuracy I have on him is only 283 anyways, so we're only losing about 50 there, which means I do think this build is going to be good, because at the end of the day, I'm not stripping any sort of a tank that's built with resistance with 283 accuracy anyways. And then of course we do lose some resistance. We lose 60 resistance on the build as well, but again, 288 resistance. I don't think we're really resisting any sort of a hardcore debuffer there. So let's go ahead and let's pop on this build real quick. And of course, the most important part, like I mentioned, is we are actually getting him into a damage set now. So we actually keep the same banner on here, so we're just going to go ahead and upgrade this. We get HP on there, that's pretty sweet. And then it's the upper gear that's actually going to change. So let's go ahead and do this. It's actually pulling off of my Wixwell, apparently, which is not cool, so I'll have to rebuild my Wixwell at some point, but it is what it is, I suppose. Wixwell is not locked, so we got speed, crit rate, defense, and accuracy, so that's coming off her. We actually have a 5-star chest plate going on him. If he had a 6-star chest plate, that would help out quite a bit, I would think. For the gauntlets, we have a primary stat of crit damage, and they should be fairly easy to find off that parameter alone. There we go. We could max those guys out actually too and get a lot more crit damage on it. Crit rate, speed, HP on the shield. Crit rate, speed, HP. Yeah, where's the shield? Where's the gabagool here? Oh, it's not ascended, that's why. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look. Another one from the cool set. Lethal set, sorry. It is the epic. So this one, triple roll on speed there is quite nice. Same helmet stays on him. And then for the weapon, we have speed, resistance, attack percentage, and crit rate. So that'll be this one right here. So as you can see, we get pretty close in terms of the attack. We have a little bit less crit damage on him actually, unfortunately, as well. So we were at 293 before. Let's take a look. We're going to get a full ascension on these. Boom. That'll give us quite a bit more crit damage there. We're going to go ahead and glyph out some of the substats here. So we'll throw a 6-star glyph into this. Why not? 6-star resistance. Let's do it. 2 max rolls back to back. Okay, baby. Come on. Give me that max roll speed. Oh, that hurts, but okay. I can't complain too much. That was a good glyph session. All right, we're going to go ahead and glyph out the speed here as well. Good roll there, and we'll glyph out some HP too. Perfect. Now, let's go ahead and actually throw... I don't have enough Chaos Dust to re-roll that. And I don't have any of the medium pots, so I can't get it up to 60, or 6. Sorry, but let's see. So 283 on the crit damage. This is actually looking like a pretty juicy build now, I would say. I don't have anything to rework this, but I think we'll just go ahead and max ascend it anyways, because on this particular amulet, I am okay with the attack. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So yeah, we got to 283, very, very close, almost 6k attack. And again, this is running at 270 plus speed on the nuker, 279, so very close to what he was previously, but we do have him now, of course, in a damage build. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and I'm basically going to go, boom, equipment optimizer, just so that the optimizer knows that it is now... on him, essentially. And we're going to go over to Wixwell, and we're going to add him as a locked champion, and then real quick, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to find some speed boots for him. We'll go down to perception is where we want it to come from, right here. Let's see what we got. Speed with defense substats, that would be pretty decent. HP defense, I think this will be the one here, so we'll take these to 16. We'll go ahead and throw those on him. Boom. There we go. We got him back in perception. Now, let's go ahead and let's do our damage test inside the Dragon's Lair, of course, and it was stage 19. Let's go in here with Sun Wukong and Arbiter and Eostrid. So Eostrid is not placing a decreased defense, of course. She's basically just placing the weaken. If it lands, it does. So let's go ahead. Let's slow this down and see if we can take out the entire wave here. Boom! The rebuild was successful. The extra damage was enough to take down all of the mobs, whereas previously it wasn't, so that is pretty awesome. Let's just go ahead and see what kind of damage he does on the A3 as well. And boom! Okay, nothing too crazy, but his A2 is basically where all the damage is, and he's got enough accuracy and stuff to strip there, as you can see. Let's go ahead, and just as a final treat here for the video, we'll run him in Arena a little bit. Let's go ahead and see if there's some teams that we can take out here. For just damage numbers, let's go ahead and run into this team here, essentially. So the speed tune is a little bit messed up because my Lydia is slower than my Wukong, so Wukong isn't really getting the benefits of, you know, Lydia being in the team kind of thing. But let's go ahead and lay out a nuke here on Geo. Oh, that's satisfying to watch. That is very satisfying. And I imagine he's going to be an absolute menace in live arena as well. Let's go ahead and see if I can fight this team. This team's pretty tanky. He might not be able to do a whole lot against them, but as long as we're faster, we should be able to lock them out as well, which will be pretty nice. We are faster. Let's get the lockout. The thing that's very, very nice about Crixia, of course, is when you lock somebody out with her, you're actually basing it off of... Oh, he just nukes everybody, even through a Necrit. That's insane. With Crixia, you're actually basing your accuracy off your resistance, which is pretty nice. We'll just go ahead and do this team on auto here. I think on auto he opens with his A3, which is a bit unfortunate, which is why I was kind of manualing there a bit, because here, for example, he won't be able to steal any buffs or anything like that. But even on the A3, as you can see, still tanky, or still enough of a nuker to take out almost the entire team, right? 260 there on the A2 is crazy. Just for funsies, let's go ahead and take him against like the ultimate tank team here. I hope we're faster, we'll see. If we are, we might have a good chance of winning this. If we're not, we're probably screwed. We are faster, okay. And we're going to go ahead and do this. Everybody's locked out. We're going to go ahead and A2 in on the Sifi, I think, and just absolutely take everybody down. Not a chance. And this is a fairly well-built team, like all like 3 to 5 star Awakened champions too, which is pretty crazy. Although it is a level 86 player, so it might just be a hardcore spender that doesn't have the best gear yet or something crazy like that. Let's go ahead and go against a team like this. This one's going to be a bit interesting because there is, of course, a UDK on the team. So UDK kind of hard counters the A2 abilities of our Sun Wukong, especially considering everybody on this team is in Stone Skin. We're hoping for a strip here, but we don't get it. So we're just going to have to A3. Boom. Not a whole lot of damage coming in. We'll do this. Lazarius comes in and attacks our Arbiter, which is nuts. Necrit is helping him out there. Let's see. Let's get some boosts coming in. I think most of them were locked out. Let's go ahead and do this, and then we're going to do a reset so that we can come into Wukong's A3 once again and try to strip, I think. Lazarius might just take us down, though. He takes everybody but Lydia down, so if we can stay alive for a few turns, we'll get Wukong back, essentially. I don't know if we're going to be able to stay alive, though. Wukong has returned to the field. Let's see. We're just going to have to A1 here. We got locked out because of the Lazarius. When he kills your team, he basically increases cooldowns. Okay, that's big. And actually stay alive. I don't think we're going to win this one, though. I think this team was just a little bit too tanky. Having UDK, Necrit, Lazarius, and Pythion in one team is a little bit questionable, to say the least. This is an insane team right here, too. I doubt we're going to be faster than them, but let's go ahead and give it a try anyways. If we're not faster, obviously, we lose because they have an Armands and whatnot. Yeah, no, we're not faster. Something I have quite liked recently, though, is running my Taurus inside speed teams. So, obviously, Taurus... being an HP nuker, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. You might be like, well, are you running him in a speed team kind of thing, right? But his A3 scales off of how many buffs are on your team, and it doesn't necessarily matter which buffs either. So he does benefit from things like increased attack and increased speed, all the stuff that you'd get from like the usual speed team, right? Which is pretty crazy. We just absolutely tapped out everybody there except the Rotos, but of course, like, we're not going to tap out the Rotos, right? Because it's Rotos. So we're going to go ahead. Basically, let's try and decrease some turn meter there. Let's go ahead and place a block buffs, decrease resistance, all that sort of good stuff, decrease defense. Hoping to get him below the 50% HP. There it is, so that when Wukong comes back, he can essentially just, you know, absolutely blast them. Let's go ahead and see if we can get decreased turn meter there. Perfect. And Wukong should be able to take them both out. There it is. Easy, easy, easy team. It's a shame that I'm not faster than this team, though, because it would have been kind of fun to see Wukong go against that, of course. Let's see what else we got here. Any other crazy teams? This guy has Marius already. That's crazy. Harima is a very solid counter to someone like a Wukong, by the way. I mentioned that in my How to Counter Wukong video. But Harima, essentially, with her passive where she's reducing your ignore defense effect, she's basically just going to turn him into like a marshmallow and he won't hit very hard. I think we're done here. My Arbiter is not as fast as she should be. I need to go through and rebuild her at some point as well, because she's only at about 369 speed, which might sound insane, but in today's meta, that's really nothing too crazy, in all honesty. 674k team power here. Let's see if we can take this out. We might also just go on a loss streak. We'll see. We are faster, though, which is a good sign. We'll do this. Everybody's locked out. Let's go ahead and hit into Nishak, and we just take them down. And Lydia blocks the revive from the Marichka. That is actually insane, because that is a unawakened, granted, Duchess, right? But also a Marichka just got one tapped, and then also our Narbaeus. That is insane, because obviously the Nishak didn't have much health, so the way Wukong works is you're doing extra damage based on like the surplus when you do an attack. So him just coming in and like absolutely nuking into a Nishak like that, I need to work on my speed teams a little bit, as you can tell. I will set you up with some game here, though, on how you can counter these teams, even if you don't have the speed. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and this, and then we'll also do this to counter this. And then basically We'll also just throw in Taurus, because why not? Because I want to make this one particular team very pay to win. But basically what's going to happen is as soon as the... forgot his name. As soon as the Armands... Never mind, I don't know what I'm doing. Armands... or Taurus didn't counterattack because the crowd control came off the Wukong there, not the other champion. But we got the block damage up because of the bombs from Nishak, so that part worked successfully. We're getting some counterattacks now because of the Taurus and Marichka team up. Let's go ahead and turn meter boost here, though. And let's just go ahead and say sayonara. There we go. Sometimes you just need to survive that initial hit, and then you'll be good to go. Any other interesting teams? This one could be pretty cool to face. Let's go ahead and throw our speed team in against it again. Speed team. I use that term loosely these days because, again, 369 speed when you're trying to push into plat and whatnot just doesn't cut it anymore because there's, like, Seafies and stuff that are running at, like, 400 speed these days, which is nuts, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and do this. Boom. Oh, he survives and he gets sheeped instead. Interesting, okay. And he somehow has his A2 available. I didn't see if the lock didn't land there or what happened, but that's wild. She should get to go next, though. Yeah, so let's do this. And then we'll combo that with the reset cleanse. Boom. There we go. But he has it available again. Okay, get out of here. Get out of here. I ain't playing that game. Oh, that's wild. That is wild. Let's go ahead and take out this team. I guess it was like a refresh or something like that there that procced, but that is crazy. Let's go ahead and hope we strip the Uko here. We don't, but that should be okay, honestly. Let's just go ahead and do this. Take everybody else out. We actually busted the stone skin off the Uko there as well. Granted, the Uko is probably not built the most tanky, right? But actually busting the stone skin off him there is pretty crazy. That's awesome. And just for shits and giggles, let's go ahead and take out this solo Gwendolyn here, just because I love her so much, so I want to see her in battle. I wish I had this champion. This champion's probably at, like, the top of my most wanted list right now, because as you've probably seen, I actually use her as, like, my profile picture and everything, and I just love the champion's artwork. I hope this added a little bit of context behind building out champions, though, and I hope the small guide to the Hell Hades optimizer helped there as well. I am also open to doing team optimizations and champion building and stuff like that as well. So if you're interested in stuff like that, go ahead and hop into my Discord. The link should be in the description below. Let me know if there's like some sort of a takeover you're interested in having happen or those sorts of things, and I'm sure we can work something out. Thank you guys all so much for the support on the channel recently, and I'll see you next time.